past 10 minutes.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Check out our live WattCon stream. Seriously, WattCon. We're all still on a WattCon high. WattCon 2022. We've just come from Watt. It's literally like 2 days ago for us. Now I realize it's gonna be a little bit longer for you unless you're listening live.
1 day for me.
Heyo. But one of the great things about WattCon was when we did our live stream and we were able to talk about what weaves look like
with the hands.
Also, by the way, we never talked about calling forth lightning.
We didn't.
And I figured out how Ashaman call forth lightning. And if you want to see, if you're listening to it live or if you're listening to it on a podcast, you're going to look at our YouTube to find out what it looks like. But here's what lightning looks like. That's what it looks like. So check out our YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube so you can see me call forth the lightning.
Is there a verbal component to that?
No.
Okay.
But you do have to do.
Yes, there is. Just.
There we go.
Well, maybe that's how he does it. Shit. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's why mine's stronger.
There we go.
That's what she said.
We all know that when you show up at Do My's Wells, it's
coming through the gateway.
Earth fire. Rolling ring of Earth. Rolling ring.
Tam Sir Al Norm in the chat has just posted a gif of the three amigos. And he's absolutely correct. That is exactly what it looks like when Ashaman roll up ready to drop some damage.
It's true. But
speaking of Ashaman, we are the Black Tower Podcast.
We are the Black Tower Podcast. That's a great point, Andrew.
Yeah. You might know us from not much fame with WattCon, or maybe more fame. I don't know.
You may know us from such a
fairly large portion.
Con and WattCon and the Gathering Madness.
And from our other event that we do way more often, which is recording every week, which is what we're about to do.
That's weird. It's weird. You should bring it up.
Everyone that listens to this should feel the love because even though it has yet to be edited, so sorry there, patrons, but we had a whole con to go to, and I had a whole Rona to catch, apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
We recorded the Tuesday before. Yeah. We recorded the Tuesday before WattCon, or before we left for WattCon. Same thing, actually, I guess, whatever. And here we are the first Tuesday after WattCon recording again. So if that doesn't make it obvious that we do this because we love getting together and chatting about the Wheel of Time, then I don't know what will.
Yeah, I was going to say that is dedication. I don't want to call anybody out. That's not the purpose of this. I'm not doing that.
Oh, I do want to call someone out. Here, hold on. We got.
First off, I'm going to call myself out for all the times I just want to sleep instead of doing anything.
Well, I was just going to say,
I'm a tired bitch.
Many content creators in this world record both the week before and the week after a major con. Again, I'm not trying to call anybody specific out. I'm not trying to actually poke at particular people. I'm just saying, how many content creators do you know that do that? Not that many content creators. We are in an illustrious group of people who record before and after major cons. Just saying. 50 weeks out of the year, we are here putting content inside of you.
Inside the cast of Now You See Me. We do performances before and after the con.
So because
not only was the movie about con artists, it was also made by con artists.
When you visit,
no, it was a good movie.
When you listen, you know what you're getting into. You know that the Black Tower is just putting a little bit of taint in your day.
Just popping it right in there.
So,
and then just moving it around.
Enjoy the taint.
Well, speaking of popping things right in there, my name is Andrew. You're Bajan Mahal.
That's Andrew. The Bajan Mahal. You'll never find anyone who understands battle more intricately.
You'll never meet anyone more Bajan than him.
No, there's not such a person that's more Bajani. And then there's Daniel.
I'm a common Mahal.
I'm a common Mahal.
You'll
never meet anybody who comes more than he does.
He comes with the wine. If that's not a review on like Apple Podcast or something, I am sorely disappointed.
The Black Tower sounds like it could be a BBC OnlyFans account.
It does.
And rounding out this horrendous group of misfits and miscreants is myself, the Suruvan Mahale.
Who
you
has
want to know how
had
to cast
drinks tonight.
lightnings?
I mean, that is true. He is technically the one who it gets to tell us how we cast.
I always figured like Bijan Mahale is like more like Jedi Sentinel. Sorovan Mahale was more like Jedi Consulars. As far as like when I was initially reading the books, like Bijan Sentinel, more battle tactic, right? More battle centric, more fighting styles, more things like that. Sorovan Consular, more like understanding the nature of the Force, the nature of Sidene. And as such, if they are gone into battle or things like that, their maneuvers are much more Sidene centric or much more Force centric than the Bijan and or Sentinels, which would be much more lightsaber or much more
Don't you
in the
don't
face.
do that. No,
I don't know if you're right, but I'm glad you explained it because I'm hoping that you saw my blank expression and realized Andrew doesn't know what the fuck you mean by Sentinel and Consular.
I'm actually going to say right now, Josh, the best thing about the Black Tower is that we have Sentinels, we have Guardians, we have Consulars, we have the Bijan Gar, we have the Tsoravan Gar, and we have the Amin Khan Gar. But they work together seamlessly in battle. It's just a difference of study in the tower itself. Once we actually get onto the field of battle, we are a well-oiled machine. There is no these people use more side.
Sure.
These people
100%.
sword base. No, we are 100% in sync. It's just the learning of the things.
Yes.
It's more focused on the one or the other. But once there's an enemy ahead of us, we are boom.
We're gonna rolling ring of earth and fire the fuck out of those guys.
We are lockstep. Nobody goes off and does their own. Oh, I'm just gonna more use Sidene. Nobody does the. Oh, I'm just gonna use more swords. There is We are on it. We are together. Your brother by your side. Doesn't matter whether they're a consular.
Okay.
Okay. They are your brother, and you do exactly what's necessary to keep them alive.
We need you. I need someone. I need someone
to check their fucking car.
That would be outside here. I'm gonna mute. Well, okay,
no, you're fine.
I need someone to make a note because what we need is a Black Tower battle tactics episode.
I'm in.
That needs to happen. The three of us need to discuss the tactics of the Black Tower because we've got we've got channelers to go up against, we've got dragons to go up against. We need to make a note. That needs to be an episode. But we're not here to talk about the Bijan Mahale, the Sorovan Mahale, the Amin Khan Mahale. We're not here to talk about the Bijan Gar, the Sorovan Gar, the Amin Khan Gar. We're here to talk about something much
more simple.
Much less exciting is what I was going to say, but I like yours.
well, one of them is more simple. He's very simple. The other one is very complex and wonderful, but one of them is very simple.
So before we get into that, is the balance in the relationship?
Yeah, we do actually have a number of different things to get to before that.
Let's get through the things. Do the thing.
So quick plugs. Again, if you want more Black Tower stuff, go to blacktowerpod.com. If you would like to know how to spell it, just go to JordanCon or WatCon or anywhere else where Josh exists within a 20-mile radius, and he will hand you a fucking wristband. So that is confirmed, which is fantastic. And I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying it's fucking impressive. How many wrists have Black Tower wristbands on them after a con?
And if you don't have a Black Tower podcast wristband, you need to seek us out. And your wrist, though it be naked, shall be clad in the Black Tower wristband.
I was really hoping for a magic trick just then. I was hoping like you'd move
That
your
would've
hand
been
off
awesome.
your wrist and there'd be one.
Yeah, I should have done that.
That'd be one.
Hold on.
Would've been incredible.
No,
It would have been an incredible visual.
I'll do it again. I'll be like,
fast.
and then there will be a wristband.
But yeah, but that's blacktowerpod.com, spelled exactly like it sounds, with the www dot before if you want that. It's got links to all of our merch.
://
Yes, there's always a colon in blacktowerpod.com.
Hey, there are a number of colons in Black Tower.
Hey-o.
So it's got links to all of our merch. It's got links to the podcast itself. It's got forums. It's got the Discord invite. If you're listening to this and like, how do I get into the Discord? Well, it's one right there, blacktowerpod.com. But it also has, down towards the bottom, right below our listing of all of our fabulous, fabulous patron supporters, a link to our longtime and forever loved and loving official channel sponsor, or podcast sponsor, I should say, because not everything is YouTube, the Crystal Barista.
That is right. The barista of crystals. If you're looking for anything rock, mineral, or crystal related, the Crystal Barista is where you go. When you go to the coffee shop, when you order, it doesn't matter what you order, right? As long as it's got coffee in it, the barista's like, I got you. I got you, fam. The Crystal Barista is the same way. If you go to the Crystal Barista and say, I'm looking for Hishamushamite, she'll be like, I got you, fam. I was just in Brazil and I picked that up from a mine. Here you go. That's where you go. crystalbarista.com or facebook.com/rockpick. Or click on the really cool Crystal Barista Wat Chibi and you'll get there.
Also,
I thought you said like also know when it, like you almost said a rock, like the country for a second, and I was like, that's a new, bold, but probably lucrative expanse for a business. So.
Yeah. And I was going to say, at the moment, I have been to Josh's house recently, and it's entirely possible that whatever your crystal or rock needs that are currently that you have, it's on his table in his front room, because that place is fucking covered in rocks and crystals and fossils and things like that.
And I have not been there recently. So there is a guarantee that it does not have my Rona on your rocks that you may need. So
also accurate. And I went before I was exposed to any Rona. Plus, I also got a negative test, so that's good.
I mean, yeah, it is.
Well, you know who did?
I made it 2 years. 2 years with negative tests.
But
and they just brought me back.
Everybody, if they don't get spoiler warnings right now,
my friend.
And we're gonna do the spoiler warning now.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Let's warn the people.
Black
the
Tower stands full.
Let's warn the good people against spoilers. Now, let's do it now.
The Black Tower stands fully erect.
When the tower is bulging at full erectness, you must protect yourself from tainty spoilers.
Your spoiler condom must cover the immense girthiness of all 14 books of Robert Jordan's The Wheel of Time,
with an itty bitty tip at the top for the prequel New Spring.
If your condom is too small, you will get tainty spoiler jizz all up in your eye.
Or ears. You have been warned.
Nobody wants tainty spoiler jizz in their eye.
Correct.
Thank you. That spoiler warning was from Gleeman's Apprentice. If you haven't checked out their podcast, they're an amazing, amazing group of folks. Go and check out Gleeman's Apprentice. And tell them we sent you, or you went there because of us. Like, give us some kind of credit. We don't really care if it's good or bad, but you know.
Tell them these motherfuckers over here at the Black Tower told us to come check out your podcast. And we'll be like,
spoiler jizz, and here I am.
But yes.
Yes.
Also, if you're a Patreon and you want to record your own spoiler message, record it, send it to us, and we'll work with you to make sure it works with the show and whatnot. But
Is that fucking coordinated? The fuck just happened between you two?
We did a thing, okay?
There, I know some people are just going to listen to this or are currently only listening and can't see. They both just did finger guns with a snap of the fingers at the fucking exact same time.
Yes, because it was balefire.
And I call bullshit.
We're balefiring some shit,
balefire
okay?
time.
Wow. I should pay attention when we're recording more, I guess.
I know that you have the Rona right now, and that's okay. You'll get in on the different things when it's balefire time later.
Well, you must have planned it Saturday while I was. Y'all planned it Saturday while I was in the room fighting for my life.
I'm fighting for my life, Frank.
I'm fighting for my life.
No. If anybody that's wondering, like, no, I'm actually very fortunate. For me, it's like not even it's like a mild flu for me so far. So I'm actually incredibly fortunate, comparative to a lot of people that I've heard about it. So if anybody was concerned, don't be. And for those of you that are like, I weren't, so why are you telling me? Then fair enough. We'll move on to the episode.
Or also, fuck you, because our Bajan
Oh,
Hale was threatened with a kind of life-threatening illness.
This
Okay.
attempt
That's
on
literally
my life.
every illness.
This attempt on my life.
That's why it's an illness.
This attempt on my life,
God
but my resolve.
has never been.
And
higher.
I love it. So, gentlemen, what are we talking
Now that
about
we're
tonight?
spoiler con.
Now that we've spoilered and offended at least
We're gonna
25%
talk
of
about-
our fan base.
We're going to
gonna-
talk about a relationship
the
that
rest
should have
of
had
the
a
family
condom
can
over
figure
all
out.
of its feelings.
Oh, we're going to talk about a relationship that offends the rest of our fan base. Got it.
Yeah. A relationship where both parties should have put spoilers or condoms over their hearts and just avoided this thing altogether.
Woo!
It
Well,
absolutely
one of them
should have been
was
that
smart
scene
enough to
in
do
Naked
so.
Gun, where
The other
both
one was
people were just
not.
wearing condoms over their entire bodies.
Okay, and he who comes with the wine, you can just see yourself out, sir.
Not quite. At least the Fael and Perrin relationship actually has some merit and utility to it. Like, it does some
No,
good things.
tonight we're talking about a much more ridiculous relationship. And that is the relationship between Egwene Alvear and Duck Sauce Boy.
Yeah, Duck Sauce Bacon Boy. There we go.
Duck Sauce Packet Boy.
Also known
Here's the
as
thing.
Gawyn of House Trican.
Here's the thing.
He's from House Tricant.
Can't
And I can't stand
stand him. Yes. No, here's the thing. Look,
If everybody being like, oh, I love this and I love that. Well, you know, Egwene loved Gollum. We see how great of a decision that was. So just keep that in mind. Oh, that's so
I'm an
fucked up.
Egwene stan. I'm an Egwene stan. Okay.
Dude,
You want to
wait.
talk shit on
Sorry,
Egwene?
did we just figure out the entire problem of the Wheel of Time?
Wait, they don't
that anytime
communicate?
that Egwene likes someone, they go down a really dark, awful path and turn into the Darth version of whatever they are. And the only reason that Rand was spared was because he had the love of 3 other good women to save him.
Robert Jordan is so pissed at you right now from his grave. Like, he's like, fuck you, Daniel, from the Black Tower podcast for figuring my shit out.
Oh, you know,
But Aram and
if
Gawyn both
the
have terrible, terrible character arcs.
you see, if the light has Ta'Viren to influence the pattern, and the Dark One himself is influencing the pattern as much as he can, then the closer to you are to what's being influenced, the more you'll be pulled towards the influencing force. So just because you're close by and get pulled by Ta'Viren doesn't mean you don't also get pulled by influences of the Dark One. And you put 3 rings on it because you think you love it, but you actually don't.
Wait,
and
are
you're
those
willing to do
blood
more
knife
creation.
rings?
Bruh. Andrew just got
'Cause-
super metaphysical, and I am here for
One of those guys.
it.
One character in the book did put on 3 blood knife rings on himself.
I'm also pretty sure that at some point,
3
among
rings
their
to
characters,
call the existence of creation
rings
into question.
well.
Sorry.
Wait. Does Rand wear 3 rings?
No. Rand wears 0 rings. The only one dumb enough to put on rings was Gawyn.
No, not
Yeah.
Blood
He was
Knight
like,
rings.
"How many rings do I have? All of them?
No, not Blood
Cool.
Knight rings. Just
Putting on the
regular wedding
suicide rings now, so that I'm super awesome." And I
One for
still got
Avienda,
lose.
one for Elaine, and
Nope.
one for me.
Nope. If you like it,
It's like those like section finger rings that like every definitely not mainstream emo person wore back in like 2008.
Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the
Clean
thing.
up your looks with
We
all
need
the
to talk
lavish
about
looks.
the topic, which is Gawyn and Egwene's love situation.
I
Okay.
wonder how many people remember this habit of ours.
Relationship.
I wonder how many people remember this kind of like micro series among micro series that we have. Because for
It's-
a while there, we would do a background breakdown
Yes.
on 2 different characters, and then we would talk about their relationship. It's been a long time
Yes.
since we did that. So
It's true. And in this particular case, we're discussing
The last one.
one
no
of the
kidding.
greatest characters in the Wheel of Time and one
Oh,
of the
so
worst characters in the Wheel of Time. Daniel, tread softly, my guy.
Critter's not on the episode. I can say whatever.
Critter's not here
Sure.
to bellfire me. I'm good. I can talk shit.
he'll find you afterwards.
Kidding, because again, Egwene is the better character by 1,000 million trillion
Oh, yeah.
infinite %, because Gawyn is
Better
such a-
than Gawyn, right?
yeah. 'cause
So
Gawyn-
okay, so
Oh, shit.
when do Egwene and Gawyn first meet? I'm actually so
At
that
the
was
top.
part of the thing that I wanted to discuss was like their initial meeting.
So their very first meeting is when Egwene and Nynaeve go with Moraine and Lan to the White Tower to start training, and they become novices at just about exactly the same time or just before, depending on how the timing works. I don't remember exactly when it happens. Logain has gone to Camelin, which is when Rand meets Elaine and Gawyn, as well as Queen Morgase, Elida, and Guled.
I was very confused because I'm like, seems out of order, but you meant like he didn't
Yeah,
willfully
in the books-
go to Camelin.
Yeah. No, in the books, Logain goes to Camelin. Rand is there with Matt. He sees Logain. He falls into a garden, meets Elaine and Gawyn, and then pretty soon after that, he leaves to go, or he meets back up with his party, and they go in a waygate elsewhere.
What? What are you talking about?
Bear with me here. Bear
I
with
am
me.
very
We
confused.
are bearing with you. That's why we're asking questions.
Just
Did I
about
just
the
have a
time
stroke?
that Rand meets back up with his party with Matt and Moraine and everybody else, and they get into a waygate going up to Shinar. Elaine, Gawyn, Galad, and Elida, with Logain in tow, all head off to Tar Valon so that Elaine can start becoming a novice. Galad and Gawyn can both train as warders, and Logain can face trial for going ahead and declaring himself the Dragon Reborn. And
Okay.
presumably
Now I'm
Elida
following.
can go
Okay,
ahead and
okay.
tell all of her sisters what's going on with the boy she saw in the palace who was going to break the whole.
You keep using words to describe Logain's travel that implies that he has a choice in the matter, and that's what keeps throwing me off.
Oh yeah, no, he's brought. He's definitely in shackles.
So that's
And
what keeps throwing me off, because that makes me think you're talking about much later in the series. And I'm like,
No.
I'm like, one of us is fucking smoking crack right now. I don't know.
So Elaine and Gawyn make it to the tower, and then somewhat shortly after, Egwene and Nynaeve also make it to the tower in the tow of the Amerlin's retinue. And at that point, Min, Elaine, Egwene, Nynaeve, Gawyn, and Galad all meet. And that is the start of everything bad that happens with this relationship. Because Egwene, like everybody else, goes, damn, Galad's hot. And then she basically not ignores. She actually does sort of say a number of times, but Gawyn's actually pretty nice too. And then, of course, they talk about the fact that Min knows that Gawyn likes, and Elaine, both Min and Elaine, both know that Gawyn really likes Egwene. She's just more into his brother than she is into him. It's not actually until a not insignificant portion later in the series when Egwene is in the wastes, learning how to be a wise one and a dream walker, more importantly, that she goes into Tel'aran'rhiod in some capacity and gets sucked into one of Gawyn's dreams about her, that she goes, well, damn, this guy makes really good sexy times in his dreams. Maybe I'm actually into this
in
guy.
his dreams, which, I mean,
in
your dreams.
I just said that.
I need to just impress upon you the weight of that statement because it is factual. And if we're being honest, in that particular instance, Gawyn is like, yeah, Galad's hotter, I know. You can have Egwene, it's cool. Like, he doesn't even have the ability to be like, bro, I like Egwene, can you not? And Galad in that situation, if he had, Galad would be like, bro, I don't even like Egwene. I want to be a children of the light.
Children of the light. I want to be
all the children of the light. And but Galad
by the
is
way,
like,
that's not true. Galad is actually solidly into Egwene at that point.
I'm sorry, live chat.
It's not until later when Gawyn is basically like, meh.
Galad. Gawyn is better with the girls than I am. Gawyn is better with girls than I am.
Yes. Have we not made it clear that this is a trope for everyone in the Wheel
It's
of Time?
almost like there's a cycle or a wheel of some kind.
And it goes along time after time.
And it turns. Time after time.
If you're lost, looking, you will find me.
Time after time. Oh, baby. Okay, we can get into this. Okay, no, but for real, like,
holy shit, is that regular Coke?
It is. Okay, look, I'm far striding right now, as they say in the threefold land, and I don't have the ability to have.
Josh, I'm proud of you. So you can shut your whore mouth.
Oh God, that makes me feel
just
terrible.
Take my compliment
I
that you actually drink real actual soda instead of the fake horse.
I don't wanna. I don't wanna. I don't wanna. I don't wanna. Okay. Okay. Do we know exactly what Egwene sees in Gawyn? Like, okay, is there a moment?
Okay.
I can't think of one.
I'm gonna say she's into Gawyn because of the I can fix them mentality. Why not? Let's start some controversy right there with that statement. I'm sure about 18,000
Gawyn
people
has
that
big dragon energy.
No, he has big self-deprecation energy. So he has big BSDE.
It's big dummy energy.
Okay. Guys,
hit it, Andrew.
I know that we give Gawyn a lot of shit, and he deserves a lot of shit. He absolutely does. I'm not trying to renege on doing that. But again, look at everything that Gawyn has going for him. in the series, at least at the time that Egwene falls for him. He's a prince. He's one of the greatest swordsmen in the land in so many ways because he can hold his own to Galad and took down a couple of the warder heads in the tower. He's got the right hand of the Amerlin in view, or sort of like in sort of essence from the outside. You know, she doesn't know that he is actually being sent on suicide missions by Elaida because she hates him. He is the brother of one of her best friends, who she actually got really close to it as a novice in the tower. He seems like he's actually very well put together at the time that she meets him, because he hasn't put on some fucking blood rings yet. And he actually seems at the time to listen to her when she says things like, hey, I don't think Rand killed your mom. Maybe don't go ahead and kill him. He goes, all right, Egwene, I love you.
So, okay.
He
so
doesn't say, no, I still
Egwene,
think that, and I'm a fucking idiot. Like,
did Egwene fall for the sales pitch?
yes, that's what I think happened.
Anybody who's
think
been in
that
the
she fell
dating
for the
world
sales
for
pitch.
more than like 3 days
She
understands
fell
what the
for
sales
his
pitch
Tinder
is.
profile. Not who he actually was, but she fell for his Tinder profile. And then any flaw that she came across, I think Andrew is completely right. Once she started seeing flaws, she was like, oh, well, all of this is good and I can fix this.
Well, I'm going to say
not
this.
Surprised that Egwene fell for Gawyn.
I'm going to
Anybody
say
who
this.
actually doesn't recognize how magnetic his Tinder profile is.
Okay. And you know what we're seeing in the live chat? That's actually a very good point. Leia brings up the point that he changes after that initial interaction. And I'm going to agree
with that as well.
We're actually going to talk about Gawyn for a second here, because at this point in time, Gawyn is living up to the expectation he's been given. He's doing what he's been told would be the natural course of his life, which is, you are the first Prince of the Sword. You will defend Elaine, no matter what that means. You will defend her. You will be her protection in any scenario. You will go to the White Tower. You will train with warders. They are the best in the land. You will become the best. As I spill rum and coke on myself, you will become the best with the sword in order to protect your sister better. It's not until Elaine is sent away, Gawyn is unable to get any information out of Siwan, and then Elaida be like, oh yeah, Gawyn, I got you, boy. I'll give you everything you want. Just support me for the next little bit. Just do everything I tell you to do for the next little bit. And that's when, and I've made this statement clear, especially with my prosecution of Gawyn on my WatCon panel, is that there's a moment after Demise Wells where Gawyn makes a choice to abandon responsibilities he's been raised with. And that's like, it's easy to see these small choices where you're like, I think I'm doing the right thing. I think I'm doing the right thing. I think I'm doing the right thing. But it pushes you further and further and further over to this side where it's very, very easy to make the wrong decision. And that's what happens with Gawyn.
Well, and that's after Egwene has already fallen for him. So it's definitely, basically, in some ways, again, it's not too late for her to turn around, but it's understandable that she doesn't. Andrew, what do you think? Andrew?
Thanks for that riveting commentary, Andrew. I couldn't agree more.
Andrew does not have thoughts right now. He's like, nah, fuck you.
Okay.
No,
So after Demise Wells, Gawyn is dealing with the fact that Elaida wants him dead. Like, he has one of the few moments of clarity in the series where he says, I was set up.
Yep.
I was bait.
Yep.
If Ashaman hadn't showed up and saved my ass,
Yep.
I'd be dead. Which means
Because when Gawyn should have gone and joined the Black Tower. Wait, what?
wait, stop that. You stop that.
Bruh.
What this
he could have
means
saved his ass if he had just gone and joined the Black Tower. There would have been a bunch of dudes around
he
him
can't
just being
channel.
like,
He can't channel. 100% Gawyn
Doesn't
cannot
matter.
channel.
doesn't matter.
No.
Doesn't matter.
No.
I'm not saying he needs the gift. He can just come and
Gawyn
train
did not
Warder
have the
in Black
dragon's
Tower.
gift. Period. End of story.
No, he
that
can just
is
train
that
being
is a
Warder
theory
in the
I will
Black Tower.
never accept.
No, I agree with that theory. It's not. No, he ain't got no gift.
Mm-mm.
His gift is being foolish with his own life and others.
Yes. Well, so we come after Demise Wells, but this is the moment when he has a choice. He could, once he survives Demise Wells, realizing that Elida wanted him to die, he could be like, I'm done with this White Tower nonsense. I'm going home, because even if Elaine's not there, I'm still a member of the royal family. I still have a duty to protect and defend and run Andor. Like,
Yeah,
but
no,
he doesn't.
And I agree with that. I do also see the other side, and I will give Gawyn credit where credit is due here in some fashion. And that is, this is definitely an allegory and a metaphor. But if you've been dragged miles and miles and miles away from anything that you know by a moving car that you have tied yourself to, and then you finally get to a point where the car slows down to let yourself go, if you look around and you recognize nothing, sometimes you just stay tied to the car. And again, I'm not saying that that's a good thing. I'm not saying that that's a positive thing, but I am saying it's something about Gawyn's life that I understand. He's terrified now of going ahead and making the wrong choice. And so he just keeps making the wrong choice he's been making, rather than going off and possibly making an entirely new wrong choice.
I wouldn't say he's making the wrong choice. I'd say he is making the wrong choice, but I'd say in his mind what he's doing is playing it safe.
Yes.
Because he doesn't want to make the wrong choice.
Yes. No, it's the devil he knows. That's exactly what's going on. Andrew, what do you think?
About what?
All of it.
Everything.
Life. The universe. Gawyn and Egwene.
And
preferably the last one. I just like hearing from you. You have good insights. Unless maybe Rona has ruined all your insights. I don't know.
No, Rona hasn't. Like, I've had several things I went to say, and then by the time I can get a chance to interject them, I've forgotten them.
Sorry.
So.
I'm sorry.
That comes with having two co-hosts who are obnoxious loudmouths.
No, you're fine.
Who is not
that being said, I also didn't really try to interject that hard. I just sat here and waited. So, but there's an interesting parallel between Lan and Gawyn. Is you have Lan, someone that is abundantly dedicated to his oath and forced to continuously go against it, to not make that his priority. And then you have Gawyn, who is the opposite. Someone who has an oath and religiously abandons it to go and do something else. And the part that makes it interesting is the fact that they both wind up at essentially the same end point in their story.
One of them is successful.
One lives, and the other one almost causes the destruction of all of creation.
Reality itself.
Not knowingly, but still, like, your consequences have fucking actions, and if your wife / Aes Sedai is the Amyrlin. Yeah, that's what I said.
Yes, that's what you said.
Okay, what did I say?
You said consequences have actions.
Well, whatever.
Sometimes consequences have actions,
The
dickhead.
taint affects us all, my friend.
Whichever. Whatever.
As he who comes with the wine says, strike that, reverse it. Thank you.
Nice reference.
Whatever. Same point. So, I mean, there almost every point in Gawyn's story where his story goes bad, up until he starts trying to play take my boyfriend to work day with Egwene. Him obviously being the boyfriend being taken to work because, you know, without her, he's homeless, jobless, effectless, titleless, worthless.
Me to work. Oh,
At any point prior to that, had he ever made the decision, hey, you know, when I was a kid and I swore an oath to give my life to protect and defend my sister, the daughter heir of Andor, then pretty much the rest of it would have been avoided had he earnestly actually pursued his oath. And that's why he will forever be one of the worst characters in the Wheel of Time, and why Lan will be one of the best characters in the Wheel of Time.
Yep.
Well, if we're rating characters based on efficacy, you're absolutely correct.
Well, I also love the idea that that's a really good parallel in so many ways.
And I hate the fixer. I hate the fixer mentality. I absolutely hate the fixer mentality.
I also agree with that.
Don't fucking say, oh, they're broken, I'll fix them. No, the fuck you won't. No, you won't.
Probably
you can
not.
help them fix themselves. But no, you don't get to fix somebody else. You get to help them fix themselves at best.
Okay.
Back the fuck off.
We're delving into a philosophical debate here, which
that shit pisses me off. That shit absolutely pisses me off.
Essentially summed up.
Not your fucking project to be fixed.
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a thing. You can be everything that someone needs to fix themselves, but you cannot make them fix themselves.
Truth.
Right? You can provide every pathway available. You can say, look, there's help here, there's help here, there's help here, there's help here, there's help here. All you have to do is pick one. But
well,
you cannot force anyone to choose a path to getting healthier.
Well, and one of the things that I also want to say there, though, is if you choose to do that, I commend you. Doing that is very, very difficult. Going ahead and being everything that someone needs to go ahead and have the right tools to fix themselves can be a very good thing. If they don't choose to go ahead and take you up on any of that, you don't get to be mad at them because you are not, because they don't owe you for doing that. You decided to do that, and you had the choice to or to not to. You don't get to turn around and say, you haven't fixed yourself. How dare you? I was perfect. No, that's their life. They get to live it.
Exactly.
But yeah. Anyway,
to be fair, the earlier comment about Egwene only getting with Gawyn because of a fixer mentality, that was hyperbole. So for those of you that maybe don't know what hyperbole means, it is an intentional exaggeration of the point.
Yes.
Hopefully that's the 60% of the statement that somebody hears out there.
Also, to be completely fair, even if she never actually tries to fix him, you can still say that someone has a fixer mentality, even if they don't stand there and try to fix someone.
Well,
if they get with a person with the idea of this person is broken, but being with me will make them better, you don't even have to actively try to fix them to have that as a mentality. I'm just saying.
And that delves into a deeper point of, you know, someone who has a fixer mentality. Like, okay, all of us to some degree have a fixer mentality. All of us look at the people we love and want to help them.
Also accurate.
That is a minimalistic view of a fixer mentality. Now, there are people who take it too far, who inject themselves into situations and scenarios that is not necessary. They're doing too much. And at some point in time, there is a threshold. There is a point at which you need to say, hey, it's not my business, not my circus, not my monkeys. When it comes to the relationship between Gawyn and Egwene,
there is also a
Egwene,
relationship between Elaine and Gawyn. It's just
there is, but it's a very different,
very different.
When it comes to the relationship between
Thankfully,
Gawyn,
he doesn't
and
get the chance to
Egwene,
ruin two great characters. Well, a great character and a half great character.
We get
Wow.
the narrative that's given to us by the books, which is wonderful, which is great. But in a relationship type setting, we do not have the right to interject ourselves into the relationship and say, you should this, and you should this, and you should this. So I think this is where
Also true.
a lot of the controversy comes in, which again makes for good writing, because who doesn't love discussing this dynamic? Because everybody in the world goes, wait, whoa. Gawyn, the most ineffectual character in the Wheel of Time, is in love with Egwene, the most effectual character in the Wheel, arguably the most effectual character in the Wheel of Time. And she
loves him back.
Loves him back?
You want to know something interesting I see? And I'm definitely not one to try to come to the defense of Gawyn. But even in our discussion now, I've seen defenses of how Gawyn acts throughout the vast majority of the series.
Uh-huh.
As part of his trauma response to being thrown into a world of chaos where ignoring his one actual oath he actually fucking has that he chooses to ignore has absolutely no direction.
Yep.
And that's why we should be understanding. But then later on, because it involves Wonder Girl, his trauma is now irrelevant. Now he's being an asshole.
Yep.
And
So
it can't
be, you know, oh, it's convenient trauma now and then it's inconvenient trauma later. So we'll listen to it now but ignore it later.
I agree.
It's all part of the same thing. I mean, this guy literally thought that the foretold savior or destroyer of the world killed his mom.
Yep.
Saw his home sacked and ransacked and believed to be controlled by the same person that killed his mom. All of these trauma responses. And then whenever he does find someone that he loves and that obviously loves him back, and he wants to do everything in his power to protect them, yes, overbearing, because he feels if he's not there for a second, like he wasn't there for his mom, she is going to die. And then what happens at a point after he is sent away? She almost fucking dies.
Yeah.
Okay, but I hear what you're saying.
Then give the same credence to the before in the books as you're going to give to this point after, or don't use the point.
Or don't. Yeah.
And I hear that. But the point I'm going to make here is that Egwene sets healthy boundaries. She says, look, you need to comply with X, Y, and Z. If you do not comply with X, Y, and Z, this is not going to work. Now, he does end up saving her life. But what does she say to him on that night? I think a lot of people like to gloss over this point. She was prepared. She was expecting an attack. Now, is that bravado? Is that a front that she's putting on to seem strong? That's up for debate. But the fact is she told him to stay away, and he didn't. And so he went directly against what she wanted him to do. And that's just how it is.
This is and again, this is where I actually think that this is one of the less healthy relationships in the Wheel of Time, because again, it's definitely a situation where I understand where Egwene is coming from. I absolutely do. I see it. I absolutely understand that she has a lot of moving parts in her life. She is the Amerlin seat at this point, and she is dealing with a lot of different things, and she, at the very least, needs to save face. And if not save face, actually has real plans that she is working on that she needs him to understand and respect. However, she is one of those people that in some ways Andrew just brought up as part of the fandom. She is doing that to Gawyn. She knows that he has a lot of trauma in his life. She knows that he lost his mom, sort of, that in his mind he lost his mom, and that it was his fault in his mind. Again, whether that's accurate or not is somewhat besides the point. Well, because he believes it to be true and feels it in his soul in a lot of ways. And so when she goes, hey, go away and stop protecting me, don't be there for me when I need you, in some ways. Again, that's not the words she chooses. That's not why she's doing it. I get that. But that's what Gawyn's hearing.
Well, here's the thing. How do you turn an already like fervent, believing conspiracy theorist into the fucking like Charles Mansons of the world?
Oh, give them more evidence.
You fight against them and you tell them they're wrong. And then a situation happens where it even indicates they might be right.
Yep.
And they go full tilt. And what does Gawyn do? He has so he's got this trauma that he's not dealing with, that nobody is actually encouraging him to deal with. They're just looking at him saying, you're wrong. That's not how it happened. That's not what's going on. And he kind of gets snubbed for a lot of these. I can't believe I'm defending Gawyn right now. No, he gets snubbed for a lot of this because
my next comment is very defensive of Gawyn.
Because at the end, they look at Gawyn as, you've killed so many of our friends fighting for Elida that it's almost a mutiny against Egwene when people find out that she has accepted him to be even around them, because he has been a mainstay thorn in the side of the Saladar Aes Sedai for months until he finally realizes he's being played. And so it's what was my original point to start this whole thing? What did I say when I started this tirade?
We were talking about
that was the pivotal point.
Conspiracy theory. Yeah.
So his trauma is ignored. You know, it's used as a kind of like whatever point. You know, it's the same response as people ignoring Tylan and Matt because he is perceived as a womanizer. Maybe whatever. Well, that's a different topic to argue a different time.
Sure. Different episode.
That's the same reason why the people that dismissed Tylan and Matt as not being as atrocious as it is give to this. Well, you did terrible things, so you deserve terrible things done to you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, yes, it's an eye for an eye mentality, and in some cases, I guess I could understand. But
sure. Well,
it's all of his stuff is just ignored.
Not a fair mentality, and also. The other thing that I like about that point is that I'm not saying that they're not somewhat hard on the sisters who stayed in the tower. They are. They get consequences. They absolutely, have to do some penance and things like that. But they are way more forgiving of their sisters in the White Tower than they are of the young ones. And again, I get why that is. I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. And I'm not saying that it's not one of those things where they kind of have to be to bring the tower back to full strength, and that there's a last battle coming, and so that there's more to this than just, oh, well, I'm going to forgive them and not them. But it does play all of this.
Yes.
All I'm saying is that all of this plays into things that now happen where Gawyn is put in a position where he is, again, I do not forgive him for his choices. I'm not saying that he made good choices based on good information. I'm not saying that I agree with him. And I am not saying that we're put in the same situation. I would make the same decisions. But I also stand there and say, Gawyn's choices don't come out of nowhere. They're not as stupid as they appear on their surface when you actually look at him as a whole person. And there are a lot of things that are not just pulling him in his own nature towards these decisions, but there are also a lot of external forces that are pushing him towards those decisions as well. Now, again, let me be so stupid clear on something here, because I want to say this out loud before anybody else gets to say anything. I promise I will be done quickly. He has Egwene's life tied to his own. And that part of his decision is nearly, if not actually, unforgivable as far as the decisions that he makes at this point. All of what I just said is true, but when you are actually magically responsible for someone else's life, your decisions now have to be that much smarter. And that is where I really kind of draw the line on Gawyn, and where their relationship gets really, really messed up at the end. Again, everything else I said is true, and I stand by them, but there is this other magical piece that really kind of takes center stage, and it's one of the reasons that he gets such a bad rep, and I don't think that it's completely unwarranted.
So, a couple points. One, in the 10 minutes maybe that I got to be at the Gawyn panel at WatCon, the best point I heard made, no, you're not going to like this, is actually from the defense of Gawyn's side. I don't know, like y'all, like Critter and y'all made really good points, and I still agree with more. But we as the readers are able to see top down, left, right, front and center what's been happening, what's been going on with Gawyn. And Gawyn doesn't. And that's something that honestly is easy to forget.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it just adds in the plausible deniability. And then at a certain point, just the arrogance and the pure bullheadedness of Gawyn himself.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But it's a good point to keep in mind how easy it is to make him out to be such a terrible person. Not that he doesn't deserve it, but it does make it easy.
Yes.
I knew I was going to forget one of my 2 points, and I just forgot the first one. What the fuck was it? Oh, look at so after all of this stuff, after the split of the White Tower, and you have the Rebel Aes Sedai and you have the White Tower Aes Sedai, who is the one person that whenever he greets Gawyn, doesn't greet him as an enemy, just kind of says like, oh, hi, let's talk. Name starts with a G.
Galad?
No.
Gareth.
Gareth Bryn.
Gareth, yeah.
His old mentor. Someone who has spent an abundant amount of time with him as a child. Gareth Bryn knows and understands Gawyn. Mm-hmm. So he knows and understands that why Gawyn is doing what he's doing. Because that's this is also the same time that Gareth chastises the shit out of Gawyn for abandoning the younglings. Being like, that is the shittiest thing you've done. He's like, yeah, you've killed a bunch of my men. That's terrible. Obviously we're on opposite sides, but war is war. Shit fucking happens.
Right.
It's like, but you abandoned your charges. You led them into battle, into bloody battle, and you've led them into death. You've led them into life, into murder. It's like, and you abandon them. That's what he's more upset about.
Oh, yeah.
So,
and rightly so.
But he's never angry. Other than that, like the abandoning of his thing, which why Gareth never went like, hey, by the way, when's the last time you fucking saw Elaine? We're not going to talk about that. Okay.
He knows that,
which might just be yeah. Well, it might just be a pseudo point of sitting there being like, "Oh, you're doing a fucking great job there, first Prince of the Sword."
Right.
But he understands him, and so that indicates. I think that indicates, or should serve to indicate to the readers, how little the vast majority of other people in the story, Egwene included, how little they actually even understand Gaul.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and here's one of the things. Look, and again, I'm not trying to come to Gawyn's defense because Gawyn, I was literally on
come to Gawyn's defense, but are like, I
prosecution
hate this.
of
Oh,
Gawyn.
we've paraded the shit out of Gawain, and now we're
We
defending
all-
the shit out of
we all-
Gawain. Balance.
However, what does
Perfectly
Egwene
balanced, as
treat
always.
Gawyn like?
Trash, a tool.
Trash. I have said it before and I'll say it again. Gawyn
She treats
is
Gawain like she treats the Aes Sedai of
Egwene's
Salidar.
Also
one
true, yeah.
character flaw.
Well, they
Egwene
both
is-
treat each other the
I
same
love
way.
Egwene. Yeah. I love Egwene.
So, well, no. If
You
I
love
don't interject, I'm going to forget what I'm saying. So I feel like an asshole.
Interject. Do it. No, please do.
So when I say they treat each other the same, Egwene treats him the same way she's been treating everybody else. She's been around for months.
Yes.
I have to force you to accept what I'm saying, or you'll never listen to me.
Yes.
Yep.
And Galwin treats her like all of his trauma he hasn't dealt with for the past many months.
Yep.
I
Because
have to save
If
you,
I go
Egwene.
away from you for a
Yeah.
moment, your life will be in danger.
Exactly. And they
Which-
never come to fucking terms with it with each other.
Correct.
Which is why I love the characters so much because they're behaving very in
Consistently?
character. But the question is the crux or fulcrum of this entire episode is the nature of their relationship together. And I think we've done a good job of covering Gawyn. And I think in the past we've done a great job of covering Egwene. What is it that they see in each other? Like I can accept that Gawyn is attracted to Egwene because she is possibly one of the most powerful women to ever live. Gawyn would, given his upbringing, would naturally be attracted to powerful women because powerful women are the only women he's known in his entire life. So I get that. I dig that. What I don't understand, apart from physical attraction, and maybe that's all it is, we need to understand that
I have a hot take answer.
these characters are very young.
It's going to be so bad.
So maybe Egwene is all like, he got that good physically. She's only ever had his dream dick, though. I don't think she ever got his real life dick. So, like,
Which,
what
I
is
mean, to be fair,
Egwene's-
it's probably-
Oh, no. She got
Claire.
fucked by Galwin in the last battle, guaranteed.
Oh.
So did literally the entire forces of light.
Also,
So you want to know the hot take answer to that?
Hit me with
Before
your
you
hot
do
take.
please hold on to that. I just want to say, knowing Gawyn in his dreams, he's actually worse at sex and his dick is smaller because he's so self-deprecating that he's probably sitting there in his dream thinking about Galid's big, huge schlong the whole time because he does that. Anyway, sorry, hot take. Andrew, hot take.
I'm not saying this is the real answer, but I thought of it, so now I have to say it because I know it's going to piss somebody off. And why not? Fuck it, YOLO. Egwene is with Galwin because Galwin is close enough to Rand, but she can actually control him. She can't control Rand.
Ooh, yikes.
Galwin is with Egwene because it's the one, only, and best shot he has at doing any kind of damage retaliatory to the Dragon Reborn.
So both of them
It is
are
not
with
the
the
answer.
other person because of Rand.
Yes, it is because of Rand. Now, do I
Yeah.
truly, to my core, believe that's the actual answer they're together? No.
But it's a good
But when I
answer.
thought of
I
it,
like that answer.
when I thought of it, it was enough of a hot take where I just could not resist saying it.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're here to do. We're here to discuss these.
I'm here to piss people off tonight.
So I'm gonna hop in and give my final thoughts on Egwene and Gawyn, because I think we're here. I think the problem with
Daniel, I think we've discussed this enough, and I'm done with this fucking subject. Fuck
think
you
that
guys.
the issue,
I'm done.
I think Josh actually hit the nail pretty much on the head with both of them, and the reason that their relationship does not actually work.
Fucking smart boy.
And that is that both of them have no concessions to the other person. They're not actually really in a relationship. They are together and they have feelings for each other, but they don't treat the other person like the other person wants to be treated, differently than they treat anybody else in their life. And neither of them actually really consider what the other person needs before trying to give them what they think the other person needs. And that, I think, is really the crux of this relationship and why it never actually works. And the interesting thing about that is that I think it's perfect. I think that both Gawyn and Egwene, and I'm going to say this very crassly, are up their own ass enough during the entire story that it makes perfect sense that they're teenage hormonal, I liked you in a dream and I've liked you since the day you were, my best friend's or my sister's best friend in the tower. It doesn't turn into more than that because both of them have so much to focus on that isn't the other person, that they never stop and take the time to do so. And at the last battle, they're still only thinking about themselves and how they need to do things rather than at all thinking about the other person. And that is what gets both of them in trouble.
I think that's a pretty good take.
The interesting part is now if they include the dream sequence with Egwene getting pulled in to Gawyn's dream, she'll have a real life event to compare it to in the show.
They never bang in real life, do they? In the books.
I mean, it's again
kind of like softly implied.
I was gonna say Robert Jordan's not actually that intent on putting those scenes in there. They do get married,
but he does make sure that we know when people get boned.
Sometimes.
When Matt bones Melindra, we fucking know.
Again, it depends on
when Rand bones Elaine, we fucking know.
And do you know whether Garrett and Suan or Moraine and Tom or
yes?
It's never happened.
No. We know about the ones we actually care about.
Talking shit. Okay, listen here, you dick fuck. Look, here's my final thoughts on Egwene and Gawyn's relationship, which is I see this may be the one thing that I give Gawyn. Okay. Most men nowadays see a strong, independent woman
He's not
who don't need no man, who is going about her way, doing the thing, being a self-sufficient person. And a lot of men are intimidated by that.
It's true.
Okay. A lot of men are like, oh shit, this woman has no room for me in her life. And it's like, no, you don't get it. You don't need to be a part of her life. You get to be a person who she wants to be a part of her life. Okay? Here's a huge thing with that. Gawyn is attracted to Egwene because of her power and independence and just the amazing woman that she is. However, when she portrays these character traits at him, when she says, Gawyn, seriously, knock it the fuck off. He's like, no, baby, no. Shh. It's okay. I can do this. And she's like, no, you really need to knock it the fuck off. Or
A little bit of noble gaslighting.
Slap you in your bitch face.
So
He's
much.
like, it's so cute that you think that. Tell you what, I'm gonna put on these suicide rings, okay? It's cool. Don't worry about it. No, don't worry about it. I'm just gonna put on the suicide rings and go kill the big bad. And then everybody will love me for being super awesome.
Can you
Sounds
even
like half of all D&D parties?
Egwene, if she had actually known, if he had actually said those words to her, she would have been like, I am passing your water bond to the next person.
That's the point. That's the point.
You watch South Park, right? She would have definitely smacked him in the back then and like, shut up, Mimsy.
I can totally understand why Gawyn is attracted to Egwene. She's powerful. She's strong. She's an amazing woman whom anyone would be happy to be with.
I thought there was a ghost outside the window. I'm not going to lie there, Daniel.
Egwene,
oh no, I just closed it.
is still that same person with him, and he's like, all of a sudden, he's like, oh, what? Why are you being like that to me? So I understand his attraction to her. I'm sorry, I don't understand her attraction to him outside of the physical. I don't. And we've criticized, I mean, the fan base at large has criticized Robert Jordan's relationship writing again and again and again.
Sure.
I understand his attraction to her. I do not understand her attraction to him. I don't.
Fair enough.
As many times as I've read this series, I have absolutely no idea why Egwene feels such a strong emotional connection to him that she is allowed or allows herself to be pulled into his dreams. I don't get it. I don't understand it.
Fair enough.
And that's my final thoughts. But I think that it makes for tension at the last battle.
Agreed.
Which is good storytelling. So
True.
That's kind of my final thoughts.
I mean, Gawyn is somebody that theoretically has power through noble birth title, even though his title is something he forsakes. Oh, I don't know. Book 2? Yeah, book 2 out of a 14-book series, and he says, fuck that shit, I'm out. Okay. He becomes a blade master, like Rand. He leads a bunch of people in battle, like Rand, but not nearly as many or nearly as well. He finds himself aligned with powerful allies, arguably powerful because they're stupid too. Elida, like Rand, his allies are better and more powerful.
Make the White Tower great again.
He's the Rand storyline minus the plot armor, minus Ta'Veren, minus the power, minus being cool, minus being worth anything. And she can use that to her advantage. That was me doubling down on the fucking, like, he's just Rand, but without the madness.
I heard it.
No, I mean, Gawyn is that person that he had the potential to be the underdog that we all rooted for. The person that always tries, in their mind, so hard to do the right thing and just gets the shit into the stick. I just can't feel sorry for you when you're the one handing yourself the shit into the stick anymore. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you can't be the person on the bicycle throwing the stick in your spokes, getting mad at the stick. Like, you did this. And Gawyn just hits a certain point where it's undeniable that it's his own decision. Whether you want to chomp it up to being an erroneous decision, an ill-informed decision, whatever excuse helps his decisions sleep at night better, fine. But for me, it comes down to the point that he had one singular oath and purpose in life. That was his entire purpose in life in book 1. That with seemingly the most minimalistic of pushings of needs, he just negated. Just said, you know what, it doesn't matter. Oh, there was just a violent coup that everybody's kind of suspect of because it was kind of weird. but I'm going to listen to the new lady in power because she promised me shiny things. I'm like, this is like the shitty origin story of every minor bad guy in D&D. Seriously. As for Egwene, I think there is a part of Egwene that has had to forego so much of what she wanted for her own life for so long that finding someone like Gawyn that she does genuinely like and be attracted to for whatever unfathomable reason, because I can't honestly fathom a reason why other than physical attraction. Not saying that's all there is. There's definitely more to it. I just don't get it. Like whatever happened in that dream must have been good fucking dream, dick, and dream whatever the hell happened. I just don't get it. But I'm also not going to blame somebody for who they fall in love with. I mean, you know, you can't really control that. If you love somebody, you love somebody. If you don't, you don't. It is what it is. I'm not going to fault Egwene for it. I am going to fault Gawyn for it because he should have been better for somebody that was so incredible and so amazing for the story and as a character. Their relationship makes more sense to me as a plot device than it does as an actual relationship. Outside of that, it just seems dysfunctional. It just seems like a purpose-built relationship, like the popular girl and the popular guy, or the two popular, or whoever. The two popular kids in high school get together and start dating because now they're a power popular couple. But it gains them absolutely nothing.
I just did something with my computer and I don't know what I did.
Okay.
You turned on the slur filter for sure.
Shut the fuck up. Hold on, I gotta open shit back up. Oh God.
All right, guys. Well, I think that's actually a pretty good place to get and close out the episode. So thank you for being here.
Like Jack Sparrow for a second.
Listening. Thank you very, very much for enjoying yourselves or not enjoying yourselves, whatever you ended up having happen. If we missed things with Egwene and Gawyn, if you think that there are points that we didn't say, or if there are things that you'd like us to hear us to talk more about, if you didn't hear enough of it, go ahead and leave comments and things on either blacktowerpod.com or on the YouTube or on the Podbean, anywhere that you would like to leave them. We do see those. And definitely let us know if you like these series. There are definitely a few more relationships that we can do in the series, so let us know. But from all of us here at the Black Tower, thank you very much again for listening. I have been your Amin Khan Mahale Daniel.
And I have been your Sorovan Mahale Josh. And I hope that when you leave this recording, you're just a wee bit madder than you were when you first joined.
And for tonight, I have been your extraordinarily bitchy Bijan Mahale.
That's true.
Extraordinarily bitchy. I love it. That's a thing now.
I like it.
Hashtag.
I like it.
Extraordinary.
But again, guys, thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for tolerating us at our best and our worst. And in case we don't see you again, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Running the show.
In the tower, you can bring your pain. In the tower, you can feel the strain.
You've been having so much trouble just fitting in the tower. We can help you